Well, since it's raining, I decided to keep dry and go to the Rock Island Arsenal on the middle of Arsenal Island in the middle of the Ohio River between the Rock River and the Mississippi. And we just toured the Lock and Dam here. So you say this is the second biggest house owned by the federal government?
So the White House is number one.
And the White House is the biggest, and this is the second biggest. Does anyone live here now?
It's 20,000 square feet.
Fire station, numerous manufacturing shops, and a power plant. The Rock Island Arsenal's new capacity would be put to the test.
I am very proud to know that these people at the Arsenal rose to meet the enormous workload imposed on them, and by their marvelous leadership and work have contributed so loyally to the industrial effort of the Ordnance Department. As spoken by Major General Levin H. Campbell, Jr., September 30, 1942.
Speed up. That was the motto of the workers at the Rock Island Arsenal during World War I. Boys and men worked extra shifts. Women were employed as shop workers for the first time. The Arsenal's Great War production numbers were staggering. 354,000 mess knives, 1.5 million bacon cans, 98,000 sets of leather artillery harnesses, including saddles, stirrups, and saddlebags. Nearly 114,000 Model 1903 rifles were manufactured in whole or as repair parts. Workers could crank out 600 rifles per day. Dozens of Liberty tanks were assembled. By the time the armistice was signed in 1918, 20,000 different items were manufactured to support the war effort. During peacetime, the Rock Island Arsenal concentrated on developing tanks, armored vehicles, and artillery. Round-the-clock shifts resumed during World War II. Over 18,000 workers were now employed at the Arsenal. Almost one-third of the workforce were women, in positions from clerical to manufacturing. Workers produced massive amounts of recoil mechanisms, gun mounts, machine guns, small arms equipment, and spare parts for various weapons and equipment. As manufacturing became more sophisticated, so did weapons production. During the Korean conflict, the Arsenal's first shipment of rocket launchers, or super bazookas, was air transported 13 days after the troops were ordered into battle. 1 week later, 7 Soviet tanks were knocked out with the super bazooka in a decisive battle. During the Vietnam War, the Arsenal was given the mission to design a new artillery system for jungle fighting. This included the M102, a 105mm howitzer, and disposable plastic magazines for the M16A1 rifle. And during the Gulf War, Rock Island Arsenal proved itself exceptionally capable in manufacturing and logistical support. Urgently needed items, or items that could not be manufactured by private industry, were economically and quickly made at the Arsenal. An example of this efficiency was the design, manufacturing, and shipment to soldiers within 3 weeks of the initial contract of 4,000 M8251 ammo spacers and 3,000 M864 spacers. Rock Island Arsenal's capabilities were challenged 5 times during the 20th century. It proved itself worthy.
The Rock Island Arsenal is a national treasure, as spoken by General George W. Casey, Jr., U.S. Army Chief of Staff, July 2008.
Today, the Rock Island Arsenal is a major military installation that plays a vital role in preserving our nation's security. The Arsenal is the nation's largest government-owned and operated arsenal, known worldwide for its excellence and innovation. The campus provides direct logistics support to troops on the battlefield, working to ensure that troops on the front lines get the supplies they need when they need it. Emergency response to major disasters on regional, national, and global level is also coordinated through the Arsenal. The Arsenal is the largest employer in the region, with more than 7,000 employees. Its annual local economic impact, that's $1 billion. The Arsenal is home to more than 70 federal and commercial tenants that support the Department of Defense, district offices for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and liaison offices for the Air Force, Coast Guard, Navy, and Marine Reserve. Visitors are welcome to the Arsenal. Its national landmarks, memorials, cemeteries, scenic views of the Mississippi River, and its museum, the second oldest military museum in the country, make this one of America's national treasures. A great deal has changed in the nearly 200 years since Congress established the island as a military reservation. But one thing has not: the dedication and determination of the Arsenal workforce.
But some of the other officers' quarters look just as nice.
I think that's the new one right there.
And I don't think there's that many active duty, is there?
I have no idea anymore.
Isn't it 400 civilian employees?
I don't know what it is. No cars beyond this point.
You haven't seen her turn around?
She said.
See, there is some perks to being a general. When I went to North Fork, they actually told you which general lived in which house like this. But see, they also got to have, parties and so that would be the barracks there.
So we should go to these shops and then click on it and it'll tell you.
Yep. One of those is supposed to be an atomic cannon.
It hasn't been served in 2000 since 2008.
What has it?
That house right there. It's the second largest in federal inventory. Says it's no longer residence. It hosts many community functions, including weddings, receptions, and important other events. Legislature.
There's the salt.
Mm-hmm.
So here's your ambulances. And the beds to go on the ambulances. So are they making them here or making the...
I don't know.
United States Postal Service is not privatized. Privatized? Yeah.
Is it not? No.
It says in lieu of the U.S. Postal Service will make major structural changes to the vacancy by privatizing and selling pieces of it off.
Oh, okay. So it must be.
Doesn't he have plugs to plug them and just go? That's what I do. We have them in the trunk right now.
Just ran over something and the tires was on both sides of the car.
Oh, really? Alright. They're making carts.
This is the truck where
Oh, is the truck there?
No, that part
What?
closed.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
Have
No, you probably can't put this on YouTube or anything.